The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream night on the Debt Demolisher TV. I am Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. Super excited that you are in the room on tonight because we're going to have a juicy conversation talking about how we can not only stop living paycheck to paycheck, but also make sure that we're implementing some strategies in place to help us better save across all dynamics. Save across all dynamics. And it's important for us to start with the foundation. I was doing a lot of reflection today as I worked throughout my day. And I just remembered a lot of things thinking about dreams. I was hearing a lot of conversations around dreams as I was listening to different playlists on YouTube and just having it run while I was working. And I heard a lot of conversations around dreams and what do you dream, or going after your dream. And it dawned on me that a lot of times when we're in this space of going through the hustle and bustle of surviving, going through the hustle and bustle of living, sometimes we may not have necessarily identified what our dreams are. And in some cases, that maybe that lack of not knowing, or that lack of true, sincere identification, or maybe even that moment of, what do I really dream, causes us to operate in a manner in which we do around our finances. And when I was thinking about my own situation and my own movements around money, even from back then up until now, I realized, like, I don't really think I had a dream. I think my dream was more so survival. And that survival is what caused me to live paycheck to paycheck. That survival is what caused me to live paycheck to paycheck. And I wondered how many others are in that same boat. Now, I have videos on my channel that talk about, how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, why you may be living paycheck to paycheck. But I want us to have a real conversation and digging to the root of how this kind of stems up and how that comes up for us. And at least for me, transparently speaking, just being real and sharing how it was for me. My living paycheck to paycheck was based on survival because of the level of responsibility that I had, the financial burden that was placed on me at such an early age, and just wanting to make it. And when I say make it, just meaning being able to make the bills, make the bills and pay the bills on time. And I think those experiences around my upbringing, or those experiences around the things that happen within my life, has caused me not to really dream as big as I could have or should have when I was younger. And sometimes I even think about how it's hindering me today, or how it's impacting me today, or how is it still showing up, even though I've come to the space where I paid off $355,000 worth of debt in 6 years. And in 2021 alone, I paid off $83,099.20 of debt in just 12 months. And I'm thinking, like, what even got me in that space of being in that so much debt in the first place, which I talked about. But how was I still able to make that amount of progress in 1 year and still position myself where it's not necessarily a paycheck to paycheck feeling now. So if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, the first thing that you have to do, and I'm going to say this in a way that may sting or may not sting, but if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you have to. And when I say have to, you have to put something aside for you. You have to put something aside for you and put it in a place where you will not touch it, you will not see it, so that it can grow. Set it and forget it so that it can grow. Once you made the decision to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set aside this money each time I'm paid, no matter what it is. If it's a percentage, if you want to choose a dollar amount, if you want to choose a percentage, 3%, 5%, 10%, $20, $50, whatever that is. It's a matter of you getting in the habit of doing it. So I always say this. A lot of times people come to me and they say, oh, I have a money problem, or, I'm in so much debt, or I can't save. I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't have enough money. That's one of the things I often hear. And a lot of times once we go through the process of actually looking through the numbers, looking through their data, looking through their statements, looking through their charges, it's not the fact that they don't have money. It's not a money issue that they have. It's a behavioral problem that they have. And I can raise my hand and say that that has been me as well. I had a behavioral problem was what I had, because I was making enough resources, but it was my behavior and the actions that I was taking to dispense it so quickly that it made me feel like I didn't have any money. So no matter how much you make, no matter what you do, no matter what your salary is, you do have enough to set something aside for you. And if you can't figure out what a starting point can be for you, just think about the dollar amount that you make per hour. If you are a wage employee, more than likely there's a dollar hour per, paid per hour, how much you get paid per hour. That's equivalent to your overall salary that you earn in a year. You should be able to see that on your pay stub. It'll show you the number of hours that you worked. It'll multiply it by the hour, and then it'll tell you how much that paycheck gross is worth. So if you can't figure out what you want your percentage to be, at least aim to pay yourself at least 1 hour for every hour that you work. So if you are working, and I'm gonna pull up my calculator so I can do the math, but if you are working a 9-to-5 job and you do 40 hours a week and you get paid, I'm gonna say $25 an hour. If you get paid $25 an hour and it's 5 days in a week, that's $125 a week. And if that's 2 weeks, then of course that'll be $250, because it'll be multiplied by that. So that can be a starting point. And if it's a stretch to try to pay yourself 1 hour that you work each day within that pay period, then try to cut it to maybe 2 or 3 days. So, or say 3 or 2 out of 5 working days, because normally you get 2 days off, depending on how often you work. But set that limit to say, okay, if I can't do at least an hour that I'm paid, then I'm going to try to do at least 2 hours that I'm paid within a week, and use that as your gauge, and then set that amount as the amount that you're going to pay yourself first, and have it offshore to another account. I just realized that I did not pop out the chat. So excuse me, I've been running my mouth. So let me go ahead and see who is in the room. Forgive me, y'all. I just started talking. So my computer's acting crazy. All right. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm popping out the chat to see who's in the room. All right. Okay. I got some folks in the building. Hi, guys. All right. So Q Scott is in the building saying, hey, dropping in for a bit. Thank you so much for being here, Q Scott. So good to see you. Acacia is in the building saying hello to everyone. Hey, Acacia. Lisa H is in the building saying good night. Good night, Lisa H. So good to see you. Coach Natisha, Mama Tish is in the building saying good evening, so and family. Hello, Mama Tish. And she's also giving some love to Q Scott, Acacia, and Lisa H. All right, y'all are saying praying all is well with everyone. Much love. My sister is in the building, Team Davis. So you guys, if y'all see me rocking the Family Matters, the hat, the sweatshirts, the shirts, the sweatpants, that's my sister's clothing line with her little Chloe's. That's Chloe's mom. Chloe's mom. So Team Davis is in the building tonight. I'm going to make sure that I drop their link in the description box, Family Matters. Feel free to follow them on IG as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So good to see my sister in the building. So thank you for being here. She has a question. She says, question, is it good to put the saved money in stocks and bonds or an actual savings account? So that's a great question. The one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have diversification. So it depends on where you are and if you have a reserve that will be sufficient enough that can be pulled relatively quickly so that you can have access to it in the event that you need it for whatever reasons. And then you have that as your baseline. And if you have, once you have that amount identified, you want to start putting them in different places, stocks, bonds, index funds, different investment avenues so that you can diversify it. One of the things that I do, because I have my stuff kind of spread out, I do have my stuff in different buckets, but I am very, very, very adamant about having a liquid or relatively liquid cash reserve, meaning if something comes up and I need to access cash, and I don't have to worry about it losing value too much because I need to pull it really quickly, then I make sure that I have enough there, but not like in a regular savings account. Normally, I'll put it in something that'll give me a little bit more in interest. So whether it be a money market, whether it be the CDs, and sometimes I'll do a different terms of CDs. So sometimes it may be 18 months, sometimes it may be 12 months. Sometimes it may be 15 months, depending on what I'm able to find in terms of the rates. So anything that I want to have that's relatively liquid, I keep it in a place where I'm able to get the most in terms of interest based on that vehicle type. And then I have stuff placed in other areas. So I always say, don't invest anything that you aren't comfortable with losing. Because when we get into the stocks piece and we get into the investing side of things, there's a lot of risk there, which is why it's not FDI insured. Like once you start putting money in like those type of hedge funds and all of those different accounts, they're not FDI insured. So that means that the risk is very, very high. So you could lose money or you could gain money or it could have not very much growth. So that's a good question. Bonds is more long-term. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with bonds and stuff like that, but they do have bond options, but typically it's held for a longer time and it's normally like through your state. So you could acquire bonds through that way as well. Behaviorally living beyond their means, maybe. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Behaviorally living beyond their means. And that's also a part of, and I don't want to call it an identity crisis almost, but sometimes I feel like that's what happens with folks, whereby it's like they see what everyone else may be doing or experiencing or having, and we go into that mode of wanting that. And so we start spending in that same capacity, even though we may not necessarily have it. And that's one of the challenges when it comes to comparing or looking at what other people are doing or looking at all of what may be going on, because then you begin to feel some type of way about yourself and feel like you need to either buy this or spend this. in order for you to feel a little bit more esteemed about your living situation, about your lifestyle. And I know that that happens a lot. I could even say today that I had oh my gosh, why my boss calling me at 8 o'clock at night? Why my boss calling me at 8 o'clock at night? He gonna have to wait because I'm doing my live. I done signed off already. Okay. I done signed off. I'll call him back later. But anyway, what I was saying was I got to take a drink after that because now I'm like, Lord have mercy, must be an emergency if he called me. So I mean, I'm going to have to log on. Lord, Jesus be offense. Oh, God, you might just text me. Okay, focus. All right, guys. So I lost my train of thought that quickly. I was talking about comparing and lifestyles and how that could cause you to spend or do something in a manner that doesn't necessarily support your financial situation. And I can even say for me, I had these feelings of, and it happens, because we're human. Like sometimes I get this feeling of like, man, like, what am I trying to do here? Or like, what's happening in this area? Or like, why is it growth in one side and not the other side? What am I doing wrong? And sometimes you can really go into the spiral of questioning yourself on a lot of things. And when that happens, you may end up going into a space of spending out of emotion to feel better about yourself, or spending out of just unconscious thought because of what may be happening in your dynamics at this time. So I have to remind myself, like, everything is done in perfect time, and whatever is supposed to be will be revealed to me. Whatever is supposed to happen will happen. And I just have to trust and operate in that regard. So when I think about tying this conversation to how to stop living from paycheck to paycheck, it's a multiple step process that we have to do. And number one, it's all around being able to look at our finances and see how our spending is going. And I share a lot of these tips all of the time. And I know sometimes it could be hard for people to actually sit down and look at their numbers. Hence, therefore, the reason why we're doing these work with me, these working sessions, these live streams, so that you can be able to get more comfortable with looking at your activity. Because once you're able to look at your activity, then you will be able to make some better decisions around it. Some of the feedback that you all had given as a result of us doing the live stream, the working sessions on Saturday, you've been able to say that you've been able to get so much done. You didn't realize that you could have possibly reduced this cost, or you could have looked at this information or found this or done that. You were able to do so much just by having these working sessions, and you're getting more comfortable with facing and looking at your numbers, facing and looking at your activity. So when we go from a space of wanting to get out of this hole from living paycheck to paycheck, we have to be able to give our funds direction. You have to be able to tell your money where to go. And I know sometimes people will say, oh, well, I don't have enough. I have all of these expenses. Well, then you probably just gonna have to do some scrubbing and look through these expenses and see what you need to cut. Because sometimes we extend ourselves well beyond our means. And I know sometimes we do it out of guilt. It may have been a turn in our situation. We may have been receiving a certain level of income at one point in time, and that shifts for whatever reason. And if that changes, then that means that there has to be a way to figure out either what can be reduced or what is another way that you could generate income in the door. Now, this is one of the things that I've been actively working on, because I really feel like my budgeting strategy is down packed. To this point, my budgeting strategy is down packed. If something happens, I have a place where I can pull from. If something happens and I have to pull from whatever that space is, I'm instantly thinking about my replenishment strategy. How am I going to replenish this? How am I going to pay it back? And now how am I going to add on a little bit more because I had to quote unquote borrow from myself? And it's causing me to think outside of the box more and more every time this happens. Yes, I'm grateful for my 9 to 5. Yes, my 9 to 5 has been able to allow me to reduce majority of this debt. But I do understand that multiple streams of income is a necessity. Multiple streams of income is a necessity. And sometimes we sit on what we do best. Sometimes we sit on what we do best. And when I say we sit on it, that means that we don't position it to be leveraged. And we don't position it to be leveraged to a point where it could generate a monetary transaction. So what I'm learning to do is to step out a little bit further out of my norm. We know it's tax season. Everybody always come to me for tax questions. They always come to me for something tax related around this time, which is fine. I'm an accountant. I've went to school for accounting. That's the career field that I've been in for over 15 years. And so I'm very, very good at reconciling. I can reconcile almost anything. You give me 2 sets of data. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have a ball trying to find and reconcile between 2 different sources. That's my jam. I also do extremely well with bookkeeping and tracking, and that's the basic stuff. Like that's the basics of accounting, but the more complex stuff is the data analytics and the reconciling and finding discrepancies and just figuring out loopholes, like strategy. That's my brain. So now I'm thinking of how can I tap more into that and leverage that, because it's something that naturally comes to me. So when you think about you and when you think about ways that you could generate more income, because we already know if you're in a hole or if you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, there's only one of 2 things you can do, or it could be 2 things that you can do. That's cut your expenses and increase your revenue streams. Cut your amount of monthly charges or outings or events that you do on a monthly basis temporarily, and find a new way to increase your income. So what are those ways going to look like? There's been some questions where I've seen people say, oh, I don't know what my gift is. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what to do. I don't even know if anybody will pay for it. Sometimes I have those things too. The stuff that I know that I'm anointed in or gifted in, a lot of times people don't want to pay for it, because here's another thing. People pay for what they don't need, and what they do need, they want for free. And I've said that before. And 2 years ago, 3 years ago on an IG quote, I got to find the quote that I did and I'll put it up there. But I said that what people need, they want for free, but what people want, they're willing to pay for, or what they don't need, something along those lines. I got to find it. But that's very true. That's very true. Because if there is something that that you can do and will be beneficial to someone else, and that people come to you for it anyway, why not charge for it? Why not charge for it? So being intentional about the spending that you're doing, being intentional about setting money aside to pay you. So again, you could use the 1 hour a day strategy. Based on how much you get paid an hour, tell yourself that you're going to pay yourself 1 hour of that 8 or 9 hour day that you work, that you actually receive income for. If that doesn't work, choose 2 hours or 3 hours within a week, pay yourself that time and set that aside. And then strategize on how you're going to grow your coins. How you're going to grow your coins. What you've been sitting on. I know I've been sitting on a lot of stuff. And it came to me, part of it came to me last night. I said, I bet this one thing that I have like been doing under wraps or like doing without fully publicizing, I have a feeling that that's probably going to take off. But then the question becomes, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? If you know that you have a skill in something and you can do something in 10 minutes. This thing that I created yesterday, and I probably would have got it done sooner, but I was listening to Tony Gaskin's live while I was trying to work on it. So I'm listening, but I'm working on this thing. And I finished it in like 25 minutes. I said, if I was just really focused and I wasn't listening to the live, I probably would have got it. I probably would have finished it in like 10 minutes. So that just showed me that there's sometimes things that we can naturally do, just naturally do, but we don't think to put a price on it. Hold on, let me see, make sure ain't nobody trying to steal my car. It wasn't my car. First, I thought that was my car alarm, but it's not my car. All right. So what do you naturally do? What do you naturally do? What are you naturally gifted in? What are some things that you can just create instantly? What are some things that you just do naturally? I have friends that are like amazing event planners. They can put together parties for their kids with their eyes closed. They can come up with designs with their eyes closed. We got Family Matters on this live stream. They market, they put their designs together, they promote their brand, and they are doing well. And it came what? As a passionable gift out of the blue. So what are you sitting on? What are you sitting on that you could turn into something to help bridge that gap? To help bridge that gap. Let me read some of these comments. Okay. All right. Ooh, okay. Question. I'm gonna go up because I missed a lot. Sorry, ladies. All right, that's good, Sophia. I can relate to being in an identity crisis. I wanted to fit in. It's a self-esteem thing too. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So true. How does one separate business and personal finances when my small business is the only source of income right now? Pay my bills. Thanks in advance. This is good. So first, it depends on how your business is set up. So if you are a sole proprietor, or if you're an LLC, or how you kind of want to work that out, you first want to be able to separate the two. What are your business expenses and what is your business income? And then what are you paying yourself? This goes back to the Profit First series that I did on the channel. So what I would highly suggest is that you go to the playlist that's on my channel, Profit First. What was the name of it? I think it's the Business Profit series or something like that. That's on my channel. If you go to that playlist, it's 11 videos in that playlist where I literally go through the concepts of the book, but we break all of that stuff down. What are your expenses? How are you going to pay yourself? And that goes into that piece of paying yourself, because if your business is the sole income source, then you should identify what expenses are related to your business, what expenses are related to you personally, and then based on the income side, because you'll have your income that you get from the business, the expenses that are relative to the business, that will give you whatever is left over. And You could use either those profits to reinvest into the business, or depending on if you have a line item as an expense inside of your business budgeting, then that way you can pay yourself from that, and then you work from your own personal expenses there. So there's kind of twofold approach that you want to look at. First, looking at, are you up to date on your bookkeeping and your books? Are you tracking everything? Are you looking at every single expense? Are you putting your line, your pay on the expense line of your business and making sure that it's enough to cover whatever it is that your expenses are? So you may have to work backwards. You may have to look at your personal expenses to say, how much do I need per month to survive? Whatever that is per month, you need to be plugging that number into your expense on the business side. So that way you can create your revenue targets to see how much you need to earn on the business so that you can still be able to make enough to cover your expenses and have the business income cover the business expenses. Now, if this is something that isn't like, if it feels like it's a little bit tight or you feel like you're not quite there yet, just know that that's what you should be working towards. But I would definitely suggest going to the playlist on my channel and look at the Profit First. Let me look at it because I always forget what it's called. What did I title it? Playlist. It is High Demand Business Profit Series. That's what it is. 11 videos. So check that out. Check that out. Check that out. And you're welcome in advance. He's going to log on here and live in the chat and be like, don't you hear me calling you? Lord, please no, please no, please. If you're watching, forgive me. You know, I clocked off. Okay. I ain't on the clock no more. This is my business right here. He going to get blocked tonight if he log into this live cutting up. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Keisha saying my thumb is ready. I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. That's hilarious. Lisa Smiles says, hey, Lisa, good to see you. Lisa Smiles in the building. She says, I remember Tony saying on the 10-hour Zoom that setting a budget is making room for abundance. Come on. That statement has really stuck with me. Listen, and if that's something that you got to keep saying to yourself every day to encourage you to keep working towards that budget, to encourage you to look at them numbers, to encourage you to repurpose, I want to highly suggest that y'all keep that at the forefront. Like Lisa's doing. She said that stuck with her. Setting a budget is making room for abundance. Amen. It's the foundational principle. I don't care what nobody say. The wealthy people have a budget. The people that got coins have a budget. So don't think that just because people got a whole lot of money that they not telling it where to go. Oh, they are telling it where to go for sure. So don't let it fool you. Lat is in the building. Hey, Lat, saying, hey, everybody. I'm glad you all are still here. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Absolutely. I heard Steve Harvey say you won't guarantee a wealthy lifestyle with just one stream of income. Yeah. Yeah, you will not. And I'm trying to multiply. I need like 10, 10 sources of income and then multiple streams within that. Because, there's sources of income and then there's streams of income. So that's whole different bucket, whole different bracket. Absolutely. All right. You talking to me tonight? No more freebies. Come on. Acacia, don't make me look. You already get ready to make me get up and run around. No more freebies. And I had to tell myself this as well. Understanding the fact that I know that I give too much away. I actually got an email after the tax prep with me live stream where this person said to me, what you did in that live stream was a course. She said the amount of information that you gave, nobody would give that for free. Nobody would give that for free. And this person said to me, I just want you to know, if the Lord puts it on your heart to charge, please do. Please do. And I had to thank this person for that email because sometimes sometimes I don't even realize what I'm saying half the time, especially when I get a random question, or especially if I'm thinking through something, I just say it. And what I've learned, or what I was able to gain from that email, was really putting myself in a space to understand what could be open and what needs to be behind a paywall. And it can be very challenging for those of us who are natural givers, for those of us who are naturally responsive to questions. I mean, that's honestly what I do all the time. I do it at work, I do it at home, I do it in family, anybody asks me something, I'm going to find the answer, and I'm going to give you the answer to the best of my ability. And then not only that, I'm going to give you a source that's going to support what I told you. So, and again, I can do that in seconds. I can do that in seconds. It takes me no time to either find the answer because I know it in my head, or find the answer, or find something to support the answer that I just gave you. I can send it to you like that. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm not saying this to boast or whatever. It's what I do. And I know it's what I do because I've been doing it for so long. I'm an auditor by trade. So not only do I look, I research, I like substantiation, and I like to figure things out. I like to find the answer. And I can do it quick. So I know I probably gave a whole strategy within this whole couple of seconds or couple of minutes that we've been on here, because I don't even remember what I said. So I know that it happens. But back to the point of what I was saying about how it could be challenging for us givers to really put a cap on the freebies, the giving it away for free. Whew, look, you talking to me tonight, Acacia. Lisa Smiles is saying, go get to the bag, Sophia. Yep, no freebies. Absolutely not. Get out of your own way. Ooh, y'all are cutting up tonight. Yes, get out of your own way. That convicted me in my spirit. Acacia saying that's good, because we tend to overwhelm our time with what is right before us or familiar with. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're so welcome. Absolutely. All right, y'all saying wow. I don't know what I said for you to say wow. I don't know what I said. All right, that makes sense. I'll visit your playlist. God bless you. All right, you're so welcome. Would you suggest paying off debt by higher amounts or higher, I'm assuming you said interest. Now, I remember this is a question that Tony Gaskins had asked me too when I was interviewed, when he interviewed me on his channel. So if y'all are not in the Blessed Business Tribe, listen, he said that he was going to drop some videos, and I am looking forward to what he's going to drop. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He talked about IG or something like that. He said something about the algorithm or something. He said he was going to give it to the Blessed Business Tribe. I said, oh, I am ready. Can't wait till he dropped that. But nonetheless, shout out to Tony Gaskins, the Blessed Business Tribe. But yes, he interviewed me. He asked me that very same question. What do you think about paying the interest? How do you suggest a person goes about paying the interest? Or how do you suggest that they go around about paying down their debts? And I always say this, personal finances is personal. And so it really depends on you and the momentum that you need. So if you are someone that is in a lot of debt and you feel like you are going to be nowhere near getting yourself out of it, you just feel defeated just by looking at the amount. That was me. Okay. When I first started my journey, that was me. When you feel defeated just by looking at the amount, sometimes you just need the feeling of being able to accomplish eliminating one of them. So if you are a person who needs momentum, if you are a person who needs to feel like you can do it, then I would say start with the lowest debt balance that you have, so that way you can get that juice, like, oh, I was able to do this. And then you'll just start spiraling, tackling. That's what I did. Because when I added up my number, I was in over $365,000 worth of debt. And I realized that I had accumulated all of that debt before the age of 30. So when I started my journey, I said, how am I going to get out of all of this debt? There's no way. I instantly felt defeated. And so what I had to do was I had to go and find what I did not know. So I started to listen to podcasts. I started to Google stuff. I went on Pinterest. I created like all of these debt boards and finding stuff, and going to Pinterest leads you to different things, and you can find interviews and you can learn from other people. And I came across the whole Dave Ramsey approach, ordering your debts from smallest to largest. So that's what I did. I ordered it from smallest to largest. And I said, if I could just pay off this one credit card, if I could pay off this one credit card, because I was in $40,000 of credit card debt. I said, if I can pay off this one little credit card, I think the credit card was maybe like $1,000 something. I said, if I could just pay that off, that will give me a sign of hope. That will give me a sign of hope. And when I finally got to the point where I paid off that one credit card, I got so excited. And I just started spiraling, paying off next balance. And I just went down the line. But for some people, it may be the other route, which is the higher interest, which is what you're talking about, whereby you are paying down the highest interest rate. And this is called the Avalanche Method. You pay off the highest interest rate first because you want to be able to experience that cost savings. Because a lot of people don't like to pay a whole lot of interest on stuff. I get it. I don't pay credit card interest no more. My last time paying credit card interest was back in like 2016 or 2015, as a matter of fact. No, it was 2017 by the time I got all of my credit cards paid off. Yes. So I stopped paying interest on credit cards in 2017. So if you are a person who wants cost savings, if you are a person who wants to be able to see like you're not spending as much on interest, then go that route. But just understand that if you do the higher interest, highest amount route, it's going to take you longer to pay it off. And so you're really going to need more grit, more sustained momentum for you to keep making those strategic payments to get the balance off until you are able to eliminate it. So I hope that answers your question. I believe it does. But yeah, I gave the same response pretty much too on the interview with Tony. All right. How do we pour into you and support your platform? Oh, thank you, Q Heart. Oh, I think just showing up and coming to the live streams and watching the videos, I think that gets me more momentum, to be honest with you, because I have been doing these videos for a long time. I've had this channel for 4 years. And like I always say, if it was not for Tony Gaskins, y'all probably would not be, y'all probably wouldn't even know who I am. Y'all probably wouldn't be watching these videos. And it took one person that he even said that the Lord said, bless her. And when I tell y'all, I can keep saying the story over and over and over, but I tell y'all, I know what I was praying to the Lord in my own private space. So I know that the Lord used Tony in this instance to answer the very questions, the very concerns, the very frustrations, the very cries that I was sending out to the Lord. Can I say this to y'all on tonight? Okay. So it was, to me, what Tony Gaskins did was an answer to my prayer, and it was in a direct response from the Lord, because I know what I prayed to him. I know what I prayed to God. And when I tell you, okay, I'm not going to keep talking about that because y'all already know the story. But nonetheless, just supporting the channel, sharing it out, watching the videos, that gets me excited because it really encourages me to keep pouring out. It really encourages me to say, okay, this video is helping somebody. This video is helping somebody. This insight is helping somebody. So that is what I really appreciate. And then of course, I have like apparel and stuff on my SophiaMelonē.com, the Debt Demolisher collection. So I have like sweatshirts and t-shirts and accessories, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely ebooks. I have a lot of stuff. So SophiaMelonē.com, but whatever you see fit. So one of the things too, I don't want to say this in a way to like, you know, try to coerce anybody to buy anything. Just if it's what you need, if you know it's what you need, then just put it in a cart. Period. If you know it's what you need, just put it in a cart. That's all I can say. So that's all I can say. All right, that's for sure. The info you provide is very valuable. That's why I said if someone is sleeping on this channel, yeah, you did say that. And was it today, Q Scott, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. It might have been today or yesterday when you said that people need to stop sleeping on the channel. Thank you. All right, I agree. My industry charged for every little thing down to the paper clips used to hold the documents together. Come on. Come on. I'm trying to tell y'all. That's another thing. We need to think about all of the costs that's associated with what we do. I think Tracy Ann has said that when I was going through the ads about the little water dispenser thing, I started calculating, okay, how much energy is probably going to cost. And then my electricity bill is going to go up. So I just started thinking of all of these things. And she was like, you just turned this into a homework assignment. But you really have to think about all of the costs that's associated with what you're doing and what you're creating, and then allowing that to be incorporated in the price that you're offering it for. So sometimes people think that service, and I think sometimes it could be harder to charge for services, because not only are you meeting a person's need because you're getting something done for them, but there's a lot of overhead that goes into service-based. So internet, I have to pay for this Zoom platform. I have to pay for these lights. I have to pay for this microphone. I have to pay for this internet service. I have to pay for the electricity in my home. I have to pay for all of, the Vimeo service. I have to pay for my website. All of this stuff I'm paying every month for. So we have to think about all of those. And even if I'm helping somebody out, I'm printing information out, I'm doing something for them, I have to think about the cost. I have to think about the ink. I have to think about the paper. I have to think about the stapler. I have to think about the envelopes. I have to think about all of that because it's supplies that's being used. So when you're doing your pricing for your services, and this is for folks who are service-based, you got to think about all of that. You have to think about all of that in your pricing, but still also making sure that your pricing is, I guess, comparable to the market, because your pricing can kind of dictate the type of clients that you get, or the clients that you'll get at all, depending on what your price points are. But then you got to think about who you want to attract at the same time. And that's another thing that came up for me too, as well. It's like looking at the realm of what I would like to do in my business. Do I want to continue to operate it in that level, or do I want to reach for a different level of expansion, if that makes sense? So again, in my businesses, I still feel like I'm relatively new to this. I don't feel like I'm like, oh, top of the world and all of these clients and this and this and this and this and this. Because first of all, I'm a facilitator, so I'm an educator. So most of my work comes from contracts. So companies will hire me to do presentations. Companies will hire me to come in and do workshops. Companies will hire me to come out and speak for the most part, but mainly it's presentation, workshop, facilitation, corporate clients. That has always been my like core desire to work for, is to be able to get those corporate clientele. And what kind of spun, I guess, before that was the one-on-one. People would ask me to help them one-on-one. Oh, can you show me how to do this? Oh, can you show me how to do that? And so I still keep the one-on-one kind of coaching available, but it's not as much. So I don't have like a lot of spacing. Like I was saying the other day, I literally have blocked off everything until next month because I need to get through the people who I have. And I don't want people to keep, be booking and booking and booking, but then I can't see them until a month out. So I'd rather just close it out for a second, let me get through this pool and then open it back up. So it's just thinking about those different kind of moves that you want to make and just being clear about who you want to service and why you want to service them. So I know for me, my main focus is B2B, but I do understand that people do have a connection with me and they just want to be able to have a one-on-one time, or they may want to do the group coaching, or they don't mind doing the group coaching. I haven't done the group coaching in 2020 and 2021, but I did do it in 2020. Did I? Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I had 2 sessions in 2020 and I took a break from it in 2021, and then I'll be picking it back up soon. But for the most part, I mainly do corporate, and then I have B2C stuff that's available on my website. So if you want to get a session, if you have questions, if you want to get templates, if you want to get ebooks, that stuff is like available on my website. But other than that, I mainly facilitate. So if your company needs somebody to come in and talk about financial literacy, please let me know. Please let me know. Let me go and get a corporate contract with your company. That would be such a blessing. Okay. That would be a way to help. All right, let's see what else we got. So Lisa Smiles and says, Sophia, you are just a natural giver, and that's why it's so easy and you don't think about charging sometimes. Yeah, that's true. I don't. Yeah, and that's true. And I naturally give. And sometimes you can give to your detriment sometimes, not just even thinking about what you do in business, but even on the personal side, because I definitely noticed in my younger years and again, I was giving out of insecurity back then. So it was easy for people to take advantage of me, easy, because they were like, oh, Sophia do it. Oh, I can get it from Sophia. I can do this. I can do that. Now I start to question when people be like, I was going through this and then this and this and this. And I was like, well, who could I ask that would have this? And I thought of you. First, I think to myself, well, dang. I think to myself, well, dang. Sometimes I say I wouldn't even part my mouth to ask some of the things that people ask me for. I wouldn't even do it. But sometimes people need what they need. Sometimes people need what they need, and they're going to go to who's going to give it to them or who they feel is going to give it to them. So that's a conviction right there for me, Lisa Smiles. So thank you for saying that. All right, Queen is saying, I respect that. I face the same challenge with pricing. Mm-hmm. Woo, 165, good gracious, alive. 165 or 365. You talking about my debt number, my total debt number? Yeah, it was over 365. I'm almost clear, free and clear. Almost. I got this mortgage, and then I have a personal loan that I took out. So I have a personal loan. Which I'm more than halfway done with it. So it'll be done soon. But I have those two. And this is another thing. Another reason why. For me, I will always have some form of debt because I want to be able to keep my credit score high. And if y'all don't know, like when you pay stuff off, when you pay off loans, and those accounts close, guess what? Guess what? It's going to impact your credit score. So a lot of times people freak out when they say, I paid off my car, I paid off this, and my score dropped. Yeah, if that was the only installment loan that you had, yes, it's going to drop. Absolutely, it's going to drop. So yeah, you just got to be strategic. Gotta be strategic. Gotta be strategic. All right. Sometimes you just need that boost of inspiration along the way. Amen. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Got it. Thank you. You're so welcome. Your knowledge is so incredible. You are literally out here saving lives with your insight and tips. Oh, thank you so much, sis. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Acacia saying she has programs, services, books, and merchandise. Drop the link, Sophia. Oh, thank you. I will. I'll go ahead and put that in there now that I think about it. I was ready to just keep talking and typing, but I'll put it in there. .com products. That's for the services. And then the shop is Sophia Melonē.com/shop. And that'll take you to the collection. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. All right. Okay. So y'all saying amen. Amen. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. You're helping me. You're so welcome, Acacia. I'm so glad that you're here. Acacia been here. Lisa been here. Q Scott been here. They've been all in the challenge. The Vet Your Spending Challenge was so good. So good to see you guys. Yes. I appreciate you all too. I really, really do. Q Scott is saying me as well. Your knowledge is not in vain. Trust me. Amen. Amen. You are out here giving out the game for free. You are so appreciated. Thank you, sis. Probably today. Tracy Ann is in the building. Hey, Tracy Ann. I know I truly appreciate you and your channel and the content you provide. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Them templates be on point. Hey, Coach Root. Coach Root is in the building. Hey, Coach Root. So good to see you. All right. So what was I talking about? Oh, I was sharing the tips. I feel like I covered a lot. So identifying what you want to pay yourself, what you'll be willing to pay yourself. And if you can, just start with an hour, whatever you make an hour, just that 1 hour a day, or that 1 hour at least 2 or 3 days out of the week. Set that into an offshore account that you cannot see, that you will not touch. And this is if you do not have a reserve. One of the questions that was asked is, where do you put your money? Where do you put your money? You want it to be diversified. You want it to be in different places. But for me, what I say, I don't care what nobody says. You need a liquid reserve somewhere. So get your baseline number together, whatever you need your baseline number to be for your liquid reserve, for your cash reserve, for you to be able to pull on if you get a flat tire, for you to be able to pull on if you have to pay a deductible, for you to be able to pull on if just something happens. You got the coins to cover it. And you're not running up the credit cards because you've been treating your credit card like a savings account, because that's what I used to do. That's what ended me in $40,000 of credit card debt alone. Okay, $40,000 of credit card debt alone. I ain't lying to y'all. I ain't lying. But identify what that minimum threshold is. Once you've had enough there, then you can start putting money in the investment pools and in the places where it could be more risky, where you could lose it, right? Because even though you set intentions to invest, to grow the money, understand that the market is volatile. It is volatile, and you don't know when it's going to go up and when it's going to go down. So if you don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to really be monitoring that stuff, especially when it comes to the stock, or if you don't have the patience to put your stuff in an index fund where it can grow over time, that's a long-term game. That's a long-term strategy. But if you're looking for like short-term wins, quick turnarounds, then you're really going to have to be in those short-term kind of things, or quick, where you have to be attentive to it. So it just depends on your preference for where you are. But I always say, make sure you got your reserve and put it in a place where if you need it, you can get it within a day. That is what liquid means. You can get it within a day. So if you have it tied up and it's going to take 3 or 4 and 5 days for you to convert it from whatever coin or whatever thing it is right now to get it to cash so that you can use those cash, that is not considered a liquid reserve. So have your liquid reserve, then start investing. Put it in different places, put it in different buckets. Okay. All right. I see says that makes sense. All right. Truly appreciate your honesty. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. You're going to have to watch the replay. Okay. No problem, Coach Root. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So if there aren't any other questions, I'll go ahead and sign out, and I'll probably call my boss back and see what he wanted. But I have things I need to do. I have stuff that I need to create, you know? So let me see. He ain't text me, so it may not be that much of an urgency, but I'll call him back. All right. So any other questions? Time to buy more merchandise. Thank you for all your advice. I'm learning and growing because all of these seeds you are dropping. God bless you. God bless you too. What merchandise you have, Lisa? Lisa H. What's your business? If you don't mind sharing, I would love to know. Because this was another thing. This was another thing that kind of triggered my whole thought process around dreaming and all that. I was listening to this interview today, and I don't know if you guys have heard of this brand or not. Apparently, she's very popular on Instagram. Y'all know that I don't be on Instagram. So, but I found this interview on YouTube. This interview came up on YouTube, and it's called Black Sunflower. It's a candle company. And she was sharing her story about how she started with like 10 followers on Instagram. And she only posted like a couple of pictures of the candles that she made. And what else did she say? I can't remember like how she got viral or whatever, but apparently her Instagram page blew up, and she started her candle business with $110. That was all that she had. She made 12 candles, I believe, and then she did a lot of pre-orders, and people were buying the candles. Her branding was on point. I'm getting another call. Her branding was on point. Like, it just looked so nice. And I was like, wow, this looks really good. But her story inspired me because they were doing an interview. She was in this huge warehouse. She talked about the impacts of COVID and how it required her to buy a whole lot more in terms of supplies for the merchandise that she had, because when supplies got low because of COVID, she couldn't really deliver on the amount of orders that she was getting. So when she was finally able to get like the things that she needed, which were like the glasses and the boxes and all the trinkets for her to make her stuff, she said she had to buy like a huge inventory quantity of it so that she doesn't run out again if something like this happens. And her business was still growing. And then she even converted into, because she noticed like the sales went down, like her candle sales went down. And this was when like the world started to reopen and people were going back to work. People stopped buying the candles. And then she said that she had to pivot. Wasn't I talking about pivoting the other day? Don't make me shout. Come on, Jesus. She said she had to pivot. And she said, what would be the next hot item that I could put out right now that people can use regardless of where they are? And what did she do? She identified that her body butter was the next bestseller. So what did she do? She mass produced these body butters, marketed these body butters, and made a killing off of the body butters. So now that got me thinking of Lisa Smiles, because Lisa Smiles has body butter that she has from her website. And that made me think of you, Lisa Smiles. So that just, I don't even know why I shared that, because for those of you who have businesses that are actually selling physical products, where you have an inventory, where you have an idea, whether it be clothing, whether it be apparel, whether it be candles. This is one I actually got a gift. I got a gift. Somebody gifted this to me. I believe in you. And then there's another one that said, you got it. You got this. Is the other candle. It's in my bedroom. That candle is in my bedroom. But yeah, that's another thing I learned. People like to buy stuff. people like to buy stuff. If they can get a physical, tangible thing, oh, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. Okay. They're going to buy it. But yes. All right. You have me stretching my mind. Also, your transparency alone has ministered to me. Amen. Amen. My sister saying, thank you. You're so welcome. Team Davis in the building. Queen is saying, thanks so much for your tax content. It really helped me. It really helped subsiding my anxious around my ability to pay my taxes this year. I hope that you saw the taxpayer advocacy services. I'm telling y'all, the resources are there, but we got to know where to find it. Come on now. And that's why I be over here trying to bring the juice so that I can help y'all find it. Come on, somebody. I'm trying to help y'all find it. All right. Know your merchandise. Oh, you said, my merchandise. Oh, thank you, Lisa H. Thank you. Oh, we're talking about the Debt Demolisher merchandise. Well, thank you. Now, thank you so much for ordering your canvas bag, and I'm so glad that you're loving it. Queen is saying, that's amazing. Coach Root is saying, yep, you're talking about pivoting. Yep, I was talking about pivoting. I love the story behind the brands and how they grow. That's inspiring. Yeah, if I could find it, it should be in my history. So I could, since it's in my history, and it's funny, the video that I commented on, they just replied to me. So ironic, talking about them, and they literally just replied to the comment that I left because I told them that it was inspiring. And then I asked them if they could do some interviews with some people who are service-based businesses like me, like speakers, teachers, facilitators, authors. We need some inspiration because I think it's a little bit challenging to, and I think it really depends on who you are and where you are and popularity and stuff, because I think that's what really kind of gets you moving up the chain in terms of growth when you are a service-based business, when you are an author or life coaching or any type of coaching. Is more so about, who you know and word of mouth and things of that nature. And I guess just being seen or whatever, and then people just start promoting you or whatever. But yeah, because I say we need some inspiration. I get it. A lot of y'all people with the products and the merchandise and the candles and the this and the that, because people will buy stuff. People will buy stuff, especially if they want to look fly, if they want to feel fly, if they want to have something that they can touch and grab, they'll buy it. But services, that could be a little bit more challenging. That could be a little bit more challenging, depending on who you are. Okay. All right. Wow. What's her business again? Are you talking about the one I was telling with the candles? Yeah, the one who did the body butters. Black Sunflower. I feel like that's the name of it, but it wasn't like spelled out. It was like BLK Sunflower, if I'm not mistaken. She was well branded. She had the sweatsuit on. She had the sweatsuit, nice velour sweatsuit with the brand label, her whole label on it. I said, oh yeah, she marketing that thing real good. But now that they replied to the comment, I can pull up the video a lot faster. And I'll share it on the community page so that you guys can listen to the interview for yourself. But it was good. It was good. It was inspiring. It was inspiring to me. So I'll put that out there. Okay. So I'll put that out there on the community page. And that's it. Yep. Lisa Smile says she want to see the interview. Yep. I'll put it on the community page. Thumbs up from Lisa H. Thank you. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night. Not quite, because I got to make a phone call and then I have to finish doing some more of my creative stuff tonight before I go to bed. But I just wanted to pop in and talk to you guys a little bit about what the conversations around living paycheck to paycheck look like, how we can get ourselves out of it, and what are some tips that we could begin to do to save. You guys asked great questions, so I appreciate you all putting your questions in the chat. It helps me with not only answering your questions, but coming up with more ideas for content to create for you all. So I appreciate that. I did get a lot of feedback in terms of topics to discuss. So that is going to be forthcoming. Right now, I'm focusing on tax season. So you're still going to be seeing a lot of tax stuff drop. And once we get into, I want to say early February, mid-February, that's when we'll roll back into some other content that can support you all with income generation, saving strategies and stuff like that. I have a whole curriculum that's designed around my YouTube channel alone. Okay, so I hope that y'all ready because I teach. That's what I do. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. Okay, so with that, I want to wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. And as you know, your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. And y'all already know what I'm going to tell y'all to do. And that's what? Get to work. All right. Bye. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melone. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia